Hi. Welcome in. I couldn't see when the last time I updated was because my phone is being weird, but that's cool. I wanted to tune in with y'all and make update on my video. It is March the 16th, I believe, 17th, something like that. And I don't have work today. I don't have work today because I overshare and I need to stop, and I wish I would learn, but it's okay because it's not a bad thing, because they're mad because I have another job, and then I might even have another job lined up, which is making even more money, five whole dollars more. So I had slowed down me leaving this job, this toxic place. And well, I love it, but it's toxic because they don't pay people what they're worth. So I hadn't left it because I'm like, well, if I can start at the other place, to me, I might as well stay here. But yesterday showed me that I need to leave, because I said something to a manager. I asked him a question, and then it was just like, I think that was the final straw. I think that was the straw that they were like, we don't need Crystal tomorrow. And I'm not going to be needed the rest of the week, because I'm in my head like, I don't want to work there anymore, because y'all, that just proves that even the week before that y'all were doing people like this. You know what I'm saying? Or maybe to them, this is what Jamal was talking about, because somebody I had been working with went to one of the bosses and told them I needed a break. But see, he doesn't know that I'm homeless, and he does, but that still doesn't give him a right, because if anything, you still went and I'm a single parent and told them I need a break. I need a break. I need money. You know what I mean? I need money. But she's telling me I'm off today. I'm like, well, is it for today or the rest of the week? And she's gonna wait till 2 o'clock and tell me I work tomorrow, but I'm not available the rest of the week. I'll be available Monday. And then when Monday comes around, if I'm not available, I'm not working there anymore, because it's fucked up how they do shit. And then understand this, I was good at the area that I like to be in, but they don't want me there anymore because I feel like I've been running too fast. And it's not on purpose. I don't know another speed, And I just feel like I have set the standard in that place. They can't meet it. They can't pay me. They can't afford me. And my friend was telling me, she was like, I think they know that they don't want you taking anybody's job in there, because I could be a manager, a bigger manager than the job I applied to. So it's okay. I don't really care. I was really hurt about it because I need money, like they've been BSing us the last few weeks. So I've been spending more on my taxes. So I don't really have as much saved up as I would have had we not have been off work so much, because I've had to pay my bills, because my bills still average like maybe $1,000 or like 800 by themselves, So I've had to pay my bills and then thus have money for the days I was off, food. I didn't get my stamps until just Sunday. So I don't know. I'm just kind of tired of that place, and I don't want to go back, because honestly, the people who I overshared to, I thought we were cool, and I'm just so tired of that, Like, I really want the job that's more an hour, and only beyond it being more an hour, me being in a manager position, that'll constantly remind me to shut the fuck up. Excuse me for cussing, Lord, but I have to shut up. I can't trust anyone, and that's in any workplace. But I feel like if I was a manager, I'd be quicker to not trust anyone. I just hope and pray to God that if he places me in that place, that he's not, none of the men, or not the other men I can handle. I don't want my boss hitting on me, and I don't want the dude that I work closely with. I don't want either one of them hitting on me. I want them to not do that. You know what I mean? Like, I'd like to avoid that. Or if it happens, Lord, give me the wisdom and the words to say, because I know how addictive my personality can be. Not bragging. Anyways, got home last night, and I was just so stressed out or whatever, but I've been praying for God to align me with the right people. And I end up talking to one of my friends from, like, I've known her since before kindergarten, what we realized last night. And I mean, I knew her before school, but it's like, ever since I lost my mom and that shit happened, like, I don't remember some things. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't remember some things. Like and actually, me and her talked for like almost 8 hours. We talked the whole night away, and I haven't done that with somebody in such a long time. But I think for both of us, probably it felt good to have somebody to talk to and be able to squash it and, get some things figured out. Even though in some of the situations she still was denying her part in things. She was just blaming me. I see a lot of it, and she's like, oh, telling me she's a bully. But I had to eventually be like, girl, you were a bully in school. I remember people telling us that you might not have felt like a bully, but you were a bully because you're kind of a perfectionist. And you may have not realized it, and even looking back now, I can see where we were all kids. You know what I mean? So you may just not remember it from the perspective that I do, but, and then I even told her, like, she just really came at me like, I'm like, dude, I just remember, or we just talk, 8 hours worth of talking. And it's like, we needed to talk. We really did, because so much shit has went on. And then she kept saying, the certain situation that came on in so many words was honestly like a lesbian encounter. Let's just be honest. But it was like, she hadn't smoked weed for the first time. And then, mind you, this was years ago. We were like, I had my son. I was like 19, 20. And she was already known to me, honestly, as a person who would exaggerate things sometimes or lie a little bit. And even some of the things I told her, I was like, well, I think sometimes we were joking with people, but it was kind of bullying. It was kind of borderline bullying. And she was like, well, you hurt me, and the whole situation was traumatizing, but I blamed her. And the whole situation was that she hadn't ever smoked weed before. Or no, she lied and had said that she smoked a little bit because she didn't want to be embarrassed in front of me. Now, this she wouldn't admit on the phone. I'm like, see, you're not going to admit that you told me that you did smoke a little bit, but you hadn't really got high. And we were like smoking back that we smoked like, she didn't even make it to the first one. And I was like, man, I just really want to have sex, because the weed, of course, made me horny. And I didn't, where's the words? I didn't mean her. I really didn't. I think I was even talking about some guy or something like that. And the next thing I know, it was like, well, I don't know. She kind of said something, and I was just like, oh, okay. And honestly, back then, I proclaimed myself to be bisexual, even though she was actually the first woman that I was actually with. And then, like, as I said, you just know the rest of the story. So, she's went through life, and she's like, first of all, she kept like slightly throwing it in the conversation too. And finally I brought it up. Like, dude, have I wronged you in any way? Like, please tell me, let's talk about it. You know what I mean? We got each other on the phone. I really just called you to see what you was going on. This is we were supposed to be the 20th year anniversary, and I was like, well, why don't we plan something? And she's like, let's just wait a couple years and do it. And it's actually smarter that way. Like, let's wait a couple years and, do it like that. And I don't know, but just seeing life from her perspective, or how the situation was, really kind of, one, it made me apologize. And I'm like, well, I'm sorry. And she's like, well, Crystal, it actually feels good that you apologize. I'm like, I do, because you shouldn't have smoked your first weed with me. And then that was just weird to me too. Like, why me? Because I honestly didn't feel like I was your best friend, because she doesn't want to admit it, but she was fucking calling me her associate. Like, I want to say 12th grade, she started randomly calling me her associate. And she's like, I remember I would say that, but I don't remember calling you that. You were my best friend. I'm like, yeah, that's what I thought too, but you were just calling me your associate. And she's like, Crystal, I couldn't say anybody that we actually went to school was my best friend but you. And I'm like, well, I would really used to think the same thing. But it was like also this thing where I was like, we actually talked it all out, and it felt so good, because none of this shit matters right now or today. It felt so good to talk about things, even though she wouldn't admit some things. And, because I'm like, I don't remember. You know what I mean? Like, if I don't remember, I really don't remember. Too much weed, too much trauma. And, I was like, but I loved you as a friend, and you were always there for me. Like, she was always there for me, even when I didn't want her to be. And we really boiled it down to, she was like, you know what, Crystal, maybe I was trying to be your friend and you didn't know what that was. And then we were talking about the situation that I ended up telling her about the situation that happened with our other so-called friend. But she even just, one, I had seen her just a couple months ago, and she was like, I told her, I was like, Janae, I was like, I got away from you that day because I knew I wanted to tell you what happened, but I knew what you were going to say. I knew what you were going to say. And then she said exactly, she's like, that doesn't surprise me. When I told her about the person, she's like, Crystal, she would just openly treat you like shit and you let her. And I'm like, I think it was because whenever we were younger, this person would always act like they didn't have a voice and I would speak for her. And I would just kind of be that person. And she's like, well, I always thought you were like in love with her. And I'm just like, I thought I was, and I hadn't even admitted it to her. So to me, even everything that's happened after that, she thinks I'm like so fucking in love with her, but I really just loved her as a friend. And I just tried to be her friend. And like we always would joke, she's the yin to my yang, because as far as cancers go, it's the yin yang sign, but she was always the darker one. Even though I was visually the darker one, she's white, she was always the darker one. She had a darker sense of humor. She would do things that weren't funny. She would steal. She was a bad influence on me, is what I have already realized. I realized in the last 6 months, and even talking to my older best friend, who was black, as well as me, I told her, I was like, honestly, I've just been looking at things like maybe we were only friends because we were both black, and I thought maybe me and Melissa were only friends because me and her's name, Reed Moss, we always ended up next to each other. Because, see, they separated me and Janae, and then I ended up with Melissa. And because Janae's last name was Cox, we would never sit next to each other, but if we was together, we was causing some mayhem. We were. I'm not gonna lie to you, we were. And I just know that I'm glad that we talked, but I talked for like 7 or 8 hours, and I'm exhausted. I am like so exhausted. Like I could not go to sleep. Or we were talking. I think I ended up getting on the phone with her for like 2:30. Oh, and it's funny because she ended up messaging me, but I forgot to tell her my phone died. But I don't know. It's just, I don't know. I needed to talk. I'm so tired. I'm not going back to work today. I don't want to go back to that place at all. Like, they used me. Like, even the machine I was on, I don't know if I've explained this to y'all, but they used to have a robot that would do it. You know what I mean? And instead of hiring me on and full me time, one person on Monday walked up videotaping me. And finally she ends up walking and telling me, she's like, oh, I was just videotaping, the right way to do it. I was like, oh, ha, send me my check in the mail. Ha ha ha, just kidding. And she was a manager. I don't give a fuck. Y'all don't want to pay me no more money, but you're videotaping me and you're about to make a video out of me moving correctly in the right posture. So I'm about to be because the thing about where I work at is that they're a boutique because they're like a robotics company that are trying to get other companies to buy them so they can do picker packers and ship their orders or whatever. So I'm like, so you would just use me, and then today they just told me not to come into work. And I'm just like, or because to me, I joked like that. And then there was another situation, and I kind of went to what's his name and talked to him about it, but I feel like he just thinks I'm fucking crazy at this point. And I opened their eyes to a situation, but I was more the aggressor in the situation, I guess. So I didn't get to go to work today. So as soon as she told me not to come, she texted somebody else who she doesn't know that we have each other's number, and asked them to come into work. And then now they're asking me for gas to get to work, and I'm not giving it to them because it's not to be rude, but what the fuck? Like, what the internal fuck? How do you tell me not to come to work, and you usually work me all the time? And then like I said, I was just over telling somebody how I'm about to get this job, and they're mad. But okay, I said it wasn't a complete bad thing because they're probably like, she's gonna get that job. That's me looking at it positively. Like, they know that I'm going to get the job, so to them, I don't need the money. You know what I mean? And technically, I don't anyways, because nobody's been working the last couple weeks. No, I don't need it. I still need it. We haven't been working the last couple weeks, but they've been letting me, because I come to work and I work, but we're not going to play this game where y'all don't work me and you work everybody else, and you probably even call somebody in in replace of me because they told you that I'm leaving. And it's like, well, we might as well start replacing Crystal now because she's not going to tell us when she's leaving. I want yesterday to be my last day because it's not fair that I just don't get paid to work, but everybody around me is working. And I've been so loyal to y'all, and I just don't get treated fairly. You know what I'm saying? And even I still don't, because even yesterday they let a Hispanic man, they let him come watch me do my job yesterday. And as he was watching me, I'm just like, so you're not going to work? And then he knew I felt awkward with him watching me, so he stopped. But now today yesterday he ran, and I was like, so I don't even get to go back there. I mean, honestly, at one point in time, I could have slid back there, but I didn't want to because I just didn't. I should have went ahead and slid back there because I totally did see it that. But what if they just would have did the same thing, you know? And I just feel like, I just run too fast for them. I move too fast for them. It's okay. I really want this other manager job or this administration job, but I don't know. I'm going to call them today, and, who knows? Hopefully I'll get it. So, yeah. But I don't know what they're doing. That's so weird. So, yeah. But anyway, 16 minutes in, I'm still at the homeless shelter. As clear as I'm still sitting right here. She has extended us. She might even extend us again. But the reality is I'm off for a reason today anyways, because I'm ready to get the F out of this shelter, man. Like, I'm tired of it. Like, even today, I could have went back to sleep. But I can't stay there. I have to get up, leave, and then come back and get let back in. It just doesn't make sense. And even ChatGPT was like, well, what time, I'm like, she never really even clarified it because actually yesterday the lady was like, oh yeah, I'm off tomorrow. I was like, yeah, me too. And she's like, yeah, I'm gonna sleep in. I was like, I wish I could sleep in. And she's like, why don't you? I'm like, because honestly I have a lot of stuff to do, but I'm thinking, but y'all won't let me sleep. What the fuck are you talking about? Like, somewhere she has to know, every time I've stayed here, you've knocked on the door past 7:30. You knock on the door and kick me out. Like, so I just have had it in my head to just get up and leave. You know what I mean? So you don't have to be told to leave when you don't even have nothing to do. And I mean, I think I've complained to y'all about this before, but this stems back to they don't care, honestly. I think they deal with so many homeless people. It's like, one, there's still not another family up there. I heard there was supposed to be one, but there still isn't another family up there with Mantine, and we're the only family there. And it's just crazy to me because, why are we the only family there? Why are we the only family here? Why is there not anybody else here? It just doesn't make any sense. You know what I'm saying? Like, I am not the only homeless woman in this area with a kid. I can't be. I think just the rest of them are at Family Promise. But I've noticed she does this thing too. Like, after my whatchamacallit told me, she was like, oh, well, maybe she'll let you stay. She's not letting these people come for 2 weeks. So if they call her and they need a place, she tells them 2 weeks. You can set an appointment with me in 2 weeks. But even she knows by 2 weeks they're done found a place, because she did the same thing to me, but I just didn't find a place. And I'm just like looking like, why? She got me waiting. And then even when I did go actually to meet her, she wouldn't let us move in until or she ended up letting us move in that week, but she was trying to let it be like the weekend. And I'm like, it's Thanksgiving. That's the weekend we moved into, was Thanksgiving. So it's our 4th month. It's been hard for me to find a place because I have anxiety about living in someone's basement apartment, which is valid to me. You know what I'm saying? Like, the fact that somebody can lock you out, but they can let themselves in whenever they want to, scares me. And it does. And I know I probably should have more faith in that. It's just, it scares me. Like, I want to have privacy, because it scares me because I've dealt with men in the last few years, and I just don't want anybody's husband to randomly just wake up and I'm they're in my room. Because I'm calling the fucking police, and I don't want things to have escalated, and I'm just, Like, I just done spoke to this man, you know, like, I'm sorry, it's not to be rude, but I'm that pretty. You know what I mean? To where men will leave their wives and still be trying to sleep with me. Plus, men ain't really shit anyways. I'm sorry if any of you are watching this, any of my subscribers. Some of y'all aren't, but some of y'all are just perverts and will sleep with anything. And I'm not anything. And, you know, me waitressing for as long as I did, I just got to where I hate dealing with married men. They're the worst because they really don't care. Because somewhere in their twisted fucking head, the weird ones, they think that you are just desperate to be with them. Any single woman around them just has to be desperate. I've been treated like this, like, because I could just imagine being like, what the fuck? Why are you in my room? Why are you in my house? No, I don't want you. I paid you your rent. Please leave me the fuck alone, you know? And I guess it even seems like that simple, but once that line's been crossed, I'll be living with this person. You know what I'm saying? And it just makes me nervous to have to even put myself in this situation. Or I already know that I'm going to have to just have precautions set up because we would never need to go up the stairs. So I'm just going to have some precautions set up. Like some baby powder, you know, like to where we can see footprints, you know what I'm saying? Like, I'm going to be setting some stuff up. Drop me some tips below on things to do. Because hopefully, my caseworker said that she could probably get us into a place pretty quickly. But I want to see it first. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, can I see it? Like, I'm not trying to be picky, and I know beggars can't be choosers. But, you know, then again, I do just want to leave so bad. I just want to leave so bad. So bad, because I just want the one freedom to sleep in. That's stressing me out. I want to not have to stop explaining things to people, and next week I have state competition, and I need my son to be able to stay somewhere now. If we had our own place, you know, me being gone for 3 nights, that's just us and our business, he would be okay, not the in and out, you know. But with him being a minor and we're staying in a homeless shelter, that's too long for this place, for him to be by himself there. You know what I'm saying? Because technically he's supposed to be sleeping downstairs, you know, whatever, but I'm supposed to be there. So, hopefully today I'll get some good news on one of my jobs and I'll be able to be able to start working. I will be going to the nursing home just to get away from GXO because I'm just over it. I'm so over it. I'm so over it. I'm so over it. Like, I am so over it. They have mistreated me, my experience, or even he's like, oh, thanks for helping out. Thanks for helping out. He's always like, thank you for helping out. But I don't know. I'm glad that they chose me to be their aggressor today because honestly, I did need the day off, you know? Like, I'm tired. The security guards being hateful to me, and then my friend was telling me that she's hateful to her too, and I'm like, well, see, I wish I would have talked to you first before I said anything. I shouldn't have said anything. But honestly, I'm glad that I did because if anything, I told on myself. But I feel like, I was like, I just wasn't trying to get him in trouble, but now it's like I'm being made out to be this bad person when I should have just came to them, you know? So they're giving me a day off, but I'm not working the rest of the week. I'm not working the rest of the week like I want to, but I don't think it's a reason for me to. I think they are fucking tripping. But anyways, that's my update. God is still working things out in the background. I feel like the conversation that I had with my friend, though, that I needed to have that conversation with her and squash some things and apologize. And, you know, I mean, she didn't really apologize, but because she didn't really do anything wrong. She did nothing but try to be my friend like the whole time we know each other, and I just kind of was a bad friend, honestly. I was, and I apologized to her. She's like, well, I'm glad you could take accountability. I can. I don't remember certain things, but then I would still tell her, but I do remember you doing this. You know what I mean? Like, you were calling me your associate. I never did that. I never did that. She denied it. I'm like, yes, you did. You was calling me I was your associate since like 9th or 10th grade. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, you don't remember, but yeah, you were. Well, everybody would say we're best friends, we're best friends. I'm like, yeah, but you were still calling me your associate when you would, like, introduce me to people, and I'm just like, that's strange as fuck, but that's what, because the thing what has is whatever happened between us, I ended up being like, really, by the time I woke up, I was very, what the fuck happened? And I'm just like, I think she's been in love with me this whole time, you know what I mean? And I kind of got cocky about it, but at the end of the day, I even told her, I was like, I never expected for that to happen. I didn't plan for it. I didn't want it to. We're friends. You know what I mean? I would have never slept with you because it ruined our whole relationship. Like, it's been 20 years since we graduated. We've never talked about what that shit, So it was just very eye-opening and stuff to, I guess, relearn about myself and re-see who I am in people's eyes. And just overall, just get things out in the open. And I even told her, I was like, see, me and Melissa was never able to talk like this. We can't. She can't take accountability. It's like she can't do it. And, even she was like, well, maybe you kept going back to her thinking that she was sorry. And even though she would never apologize, she didn't. She manipulated the fuck out of me. She would let me start dealing with her again, but she just planned to get worse. It was just really one of them situations where it potentially our friendship has potentially gotten worse every time we take a break and go back, because she's never sorry. She's never sorry. She's never sorry. Nothing's ever her fault. It's everybody else's fault. She's a cry bully. She acts like, I was even telling her, I was like, she's used me. Like, she's even lied on me, telling people I'm going to beat them up and stuff for her. Like, she used me as her punching bag. I'm like, she used me for a long time. And then on the other side, would just treat me like shit. And then Janae was like, well, I think you let her treat you like shit because it was what you were used to. I said that because I was like, well, I know by the end of it, I told her that she reminds me of my mom. But she's so selfish, like, I was thinking it was so normal and acting like it was all okay, but it wasn't, because she was just a very toxic person, and still is. She's evil. At this point, I would call her evil, but I don't know. I'm just thankful that I was able to get all that stuff off my chest. We're not going to be able to see each other at the 20-year reunion because she's not going to come, because she's just disgusted in the way that they're doing things, which I don't blame her. You know what I mean? So, yeah. It's just definitely one of those things where I'm glad we got things out in the open. It's over. I needed today off anyways to look for me a place to live, because this is enough. And I honestly, when my manager asked me to come back to work, want to be like, I'm not available till Monday. And then really, honestly, if I hear anything about the job, or go work Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and or whatever days, and I'm not supposed to work Thursday and Friday anyway, so work whatever days they give me, and then just in the new month, don't go back. Just be like, hey, I'm just no longer available. Thank you so much for your time and consideration. And just really, that's all I say. So I don't know. Part of me wants to work if they call me in tomorrow, because I feel like that's the responsible parent thing to do. That's the responsible person in me. But at the same time, I just don't want to, or I don't know. I don't want to because I'm embarrassed, but I still need my money, and this check would be fatter if I went ahead and went into work, So there's that. And I mean, but if I go ahead and take this little 1-bedroom that's $1,100, then they're not going to make me spend all my money on that, or hopefully not. And then I'd be able to move and get all my stuff in there, and just get out. I have to 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 get out of this place. Because I'm just ready to be able to sleep on my days off. And like, that's going to be the biggest thing that I value, is being able to sleep successfully through the night and not worry about anything else that doesn't matter anyways. So with that, y'all have a good day. I am about to get me some breakfast, and I don't even know what time it is. 6:15. I came out early, but I'm about to get me some breakfast and probably go to the gym and either nap or go in and get a massage, or all three, and eat and then go back, and hopefully I can get in the shelter and go back to sleep for a couple of hours, because I really went to bed at like 2:30. That's my first time staying up that late, but I didn't take my anxiety medicine. And then I was so wired from work, it felt good to be able to talk to her and talk some things off, even though I didn't tell her my situation all the way. And I wanted to, but it's like, it wouldn't surprise her. Just like how that thing, it wouldn't surprise her because how I grew up. I was homeless, and I even told her, it's like, because she came at me about some things, and she's like, oh, y'all would bully me, da 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 da. I'm thinking, she's saying we would bully her when she was like the biggest bitch ever. And I even told her, I'm like, you're a perfectionist. You would cuss us all out sometimes, you know what I mean? And you're kind of, I didn't say controlling, but you would take over things, you know what I'm saying? So it's like, it's not that you necessarily probably did it on purpose, but you still did it, you know? So, anyways, yeah, I'm gonna go get me some breakfast. Y'all have a good day. I'm hungry. God is good.